All right, so we'll do 350s, fingertip drag on the way down, straight arms on the way back, and we'll leave in 5 seconds. All right, 7.5 apart. All right, I'm in a 60-second cycle, so plenty of rest. Oh, we're going already. Sam, when you're doing your exit in your straight arm, just make sure you're really coming straight up the back. You're sort of coming out bent and then coming around straight. Make sure you're coming right up around. All right, nicely done. Last one. Don't often see a catch-up straight arm, but you somehow managed to make a catch-up straight arm work. All right, very good, guys. We've got a couple of things that we can do here and what we can see. First thing we can see is obviously the battery and the time, but just underneath that we've got the count. So when we press this button, it'll say 8, 9, go, that's our count. And on this side it says swim, so it'll say take your marks, go. If you set that to athletics or something else, it'll do a different sound. We've also got 3 per lane, so that's how many times it will send people off, and then the distance apart. And then down the bottom we have our cycle. So first thing we can do is change our cycle down the bottom, and we've got that in a minute. We can actually change this throughout the set. So if the set descends, if it might be 4 100s at one pace and then we change down, we can actually change that setting down. So let's say we're doing 4 100s starting off at 150. After we do a few of them, we could drop that down to 145, even 140 as we go. We also can change the amount of people in the lanes from rotating this dial. So we've got 2 people per lane, 3, 4, 5 as we go up, and then also the distance apart. So the interval between 7.5 down to 5 seconds apart, we can push that out to 15 or 20 if we want. So we can go down to 5 seconds. We've got lots of people in the lane. My personal favourite is 7.5 seconds though. It's hard to read on the watch, but obviously on the pace clock on the wall, but this does all the maths for you. So 7.5 is a really good distance. So in this case, we've got a group of swimmers who are going on a 140 cycle. We've got 4 per lane going 7.5 seconds apart. We're going to do this as an 8, 9 go, so I'm going to press the count button at the side. We do that 5 seconds before we want them to actually leave. and then our first group have gone. This will do it for another 3 waves.
8, 9, go.
And you can see it said go right on the 7.5. It'll say go again on the 15.
8, 9, go.
And then the last group will go on 22.5. And then it will remain silent until it's time for the next cycle.
9, go.
So we're going 45 because Alana said so. So we're doing 50 freestyle on 45, and then we'll go 50 breaststroke on 55. How about that? Take 5 seconds off one, put it on the other. All right, we'll go black top. 7.5 seconds apart. 50 free on 45, 50 breast on 55. All right, so I'm just changing the time cycle now from 45 to 55, just rotating the dial, and that'll automatically take that new time to the next cycle. All right, 32s, nicely done. Okay, so 50 breaststroke now, 33s, 34s. So last group ready. All right, nicely done, very good. All right, easily made cycle, well done. I'm not sure what was more challenging, the time cycle or just doing 50 breaststroke for some of you. But no, that was good. We'll start off at 40. So 2 per lane, 7.5 seconds apart. We're dropping by 2, starting off on 40. Just to give you guys, alrighty, yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, 3 boys, 3 girls, fine. Yeah, that works. All right, we're going to start off in 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Go. Okay, that's on 40-second cycle. The next one's going to be on 38. All right, this one's on 40. Next one's on 38. Let's go. Okay, well done. Ready. Okay, this one's on 38. Get ready for it. Go. Okay, that one's on 36. Go. Okay, nice work, Alani, you're still on. And go. All right, you guys are out, you guys are out. You missed cycle, missed cycle. Well done. Oh, that'll do, leave it there, well done. We're down to 32s now. Well done, very well done. So for those of you who haven't done that set before, what we normally do is start on 60 and then drop it down by 1 second each time. And it just gets faster and faster. So the first 10 are not too bad. And then the next 10, a little bit more challenging. And then once you start getting into the 30s, like you just did then, and dropping down by 1, it gets very, very tricky. I know Sam's made it down to 29. So you got to think 29, that's one thing, but he's done a 31 and a 30 and then a 29 off the back. So it's basically done 3 on 30-second cycle. So the next mode we're going to look at is pace test mode, and this is exactly the same as pace mode, except this will automatically change the cycle and it'll drop the cycle as it goes down. So that descending cycle as part of a test set. So I'm in watch mode at the moment. I'll change, first thing I'm going to do is actually go to our setup mode, and we go to the pace test setup and this step in setup mode, and we can see the different variations we've got here. We can go down to 5 seconds drop, up to 0. I'm going to do it at 1, hold that down for save. And what that means now is once we go to pace step mode, which will just be here, so pace test mode, we have a 1 second drop. So again, just like pace mode, we can see how many swimmers per lane. So I'm going to go 3 swimmers per lane. I will push this out to 10 seconds apart, just to do that. And then our starting cycle, I will drop down to, actually no, I'm going to change this to 5 seconds apart just to make it a bit quicker. I'm going to drop our starting cycle down to about 30 seconds. We should be able to do that just to give you a quick idea. So in this mode, the first group are going to go on 30 seconds. So the first repeat will be on 30 seconds. The next one on 29, because we're taking off 1 second, 28, 27, etc. until basically they can't go anymore. So I'm going to do this one as an 8-9 go as well, and we'll see this as it goes through. So 5 seconds before we want them to start, we press the button. And our first swimmer is off. 5 seconds later, our second swimmer goes, and then our third swimmer on the 10 seconds. So now all the swimmers are swimming. We can see the time elapsed there, and we know that we've got a cycle of 30 and it's going to drop down by 1 second. So this first one, we start off on 30 seconds. So we're coming up to that now. So the first swimmer will get ready to go again. And they go on the 30, and you can see that automatically drops down for the second swimmer. And automatically drops down for the third swimmer. So that's there, 27, 28, 29, 30 now. And now we're back onto the first swimmer. So this is 16 seconds into the cycle for the first swimmer. So it does all the maths itself. You can see the total elapsed time on the side there. We're coming up to 29 now because we're dropping 1 second. So it goes on the 29. So you can see that total elapsed time on the side. They'll be going on 109. So it's going to get faster and faster as it goes through. So a really good test set to go through. When we usually set this set up, we start it off on a minute, drop it down by 1 second, and it really sorts the swimmers out. The best swimmers getting down to low 30 seconds for their 50 metres. So you can see now we're not going on 5s or 10s anymore. We're now on a 28 second cycle, so third time through with a 1 second drop, and we're on to the fourth lap already.